Hello, friends. Welcome to Chasing English, the channel where you can practice reading, listening, speaking, and thinking in English every day. If you want to get better at English, join us. Try to read along, listen carefully, repeat what you hear, and answer easy questions with us. Chasing English is here to help you learn step by step with real stories for beginners. Today, I will tell you a true story about me. My name is Lily. I am 28 years old. I live in a big city called New York. My story is about love, trust, and learning to be strong, even when life is hard. This story will help you understand that sometimes things are not always as perfect as they look. Let me tell you how it all started. 5 years ago, I worked at a small, friendly cafe in New York City. Every morning, I made coffee, served cakes, and smiled at customers. The cafe was warm and full of the smell of fresh bread. I loved my simple life, even though sometimes I felt a little lonely. One day, a man named Jack walked into the cafe. He wore a black suit and carried a leather bag. Jack looked very confident, with a big, friendly smile. When he came to the counter, he looked at me and said, "Thank you. By the way, you have beautiful eyes." No one had ever said that to me before. I felt shy, but also happy. After that day, Jack started coming to the cafe every morning. Sometimes, he brought me small flowers, yellow daisies or pink tulips. At first, I thought he was just a nice man, but soon I realized he liked me. One day, Jack asked me to have dinner with him. I was nervous, but I said yes. He took me to a small Italian restaurant. The lights were soft and the music was quiet. We talked for hours, eating pasta and laughing. Jack told me about his job in marketing, and he listened to me talk about my dreams. No one ever listened to me like that before. He made me feel special. After that dinner, Jack and I started to see each other almost every day. For the next 2 years, we were always together. Jack wrote me sweet notes, took me on long drives, and brought me my favorite chocolates. On weekends, we watched movies or went to the beach. Jack was my best friend. Then, one evening in the park, Jack stopped walking. He looked at me and said, "Lily, you are the best thing that has ever happened to me. I can't imagine my life without you." Then he got down on one knee and took out a ring. "Will you marry me?" he asked. I was so happy that I cried. I said, "Yes!" It was the best day of my life. 6 months later, Jack and I got married. I wore a white dress. Jack wore a blue suit. All our friends and family came to celebrate with us. We danced under the stars and laughed together. Jack whispered to me, "I promise to love you forever." And I believed him. For the first 2 years, my marriage with Jack felt like a wonderful dream. We bought a small apartment together. The apartment was not big, but it was full of love and happiness. Jack and I decorated every room together. We painted the walls, chose the curtains, and even picked out small plants for the windows. Every little thing felt special. Jack loved to cook. Many evenings, we cooked dinner together. We laughed, tried new recipes, and sometimes made a mess in the kitchen. On Sundays, we slept late and had breakfast in bed. We watched funny movies and talked for hours. I felt so lucky. Jack was not only my husband, he was my best friend. I trusted Jack with all my heart. He made me feel safe and loved. I thought my life was perfect. But sometimes life can change when you least expect it. After 2 years, things slowly started to change. Jack became quiet. He spent more and more time at work. At first, I thought he was just busy with his job. He often came home late and said, "Sorry, Lily. I had a lot of work at the office." I believed him because he was my husband, the man who promised to love me forever. But soon, Jack's late nights happened more and more. When he was home, he did not ask me about my day. Our dinners became silent. Jack looked at his phone a lot, smiling at messages that were not from me. One evening, I tried to ask him, "Jack, who are you always texting?" He looked surprised and said, "It's just work stuff, Lily. You don't have to worry." Then he kissed my forehead and walked away. But I did worry. My heart felt strange. Something was not right. One Saturday, Jack said he needed to go to the office for an important meeting. This was strange because he never worked on weekends. I stayed home and tried to keep busy. While I was folding Jack's laundry, I found a piece of paper in his jeans pocket. It was a receipt for a very expensive dinner at a restaurant I had never heard of. The date on the receipt was last Tuesday, the night Jack told me he was working late. My heart beat fast. I tried to tell myself, maybe it was just a dinner with a client. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. A few weeks later, something else happened. In the middle of the night, Jack's phone started to vibrate. Jack was sleeping next to me, so I picked up the phone to turn off the sound. The screen lit up, and I saw a message. It said, "Miss you already. Can't wait to see you again." My hands started to shake. I felt like I could not breathe. Who was sending this message to my husband? The next morning, I could not keep my feelings inside anymore. My heart felt heavy. While Jack was eating breakfast, I looked at him and asked, "Jack, are you seeing someone else?" He looked up from his coffee, surprised. "What? No, Lily. Why would you think that?" I took the receipt from my pocket and put it on the table. I said softly, "Then explain this." Jack's face turned pale. He looked nervous. He said, "It's nothing. Just a dinner with a colleague." I showed him the message I saw on his phone. "Which colleague sends you messages like this at night?" I asked. Jack became silent. He did not say anything. His silence told me the answer. After a long moment, Jack finally spoke. He said there was another woman. Her name was Clara. She worked with him at his office. Jack looked down and said, "It just happened, Lily. I didn't mean to hurt you." I felt like my world was falling apart. The man I loved, the man I trusted, had broken my heart. My voice was very quiet. I asked, "How long has this been going on?" Jack said, 6 months. He did not look me in the eyes. For 6 months, Jack had lied to me. He spent time with Clara, not with me. I felt so sad and angry. My heart hurt so much. The days after that were the hardest days of my life. I could not eat. I could not sleep. Everywhere I looked, I saw Jack's things. His coffee mug, our wedding photo, the couch where we watched movies. I cried and cried. My heart felt like it was broken into many pieces. One night, I sat alone in my room. I held my wedding ring in my hand and remembered all the promises Jack made to me. He said, "I will love you forever." But now, those words meant nothing. I asked myself, why wasn't I enough? Did I do something wrong? Could I have stopped this? But then I started to think. It was not my fault. Jack made his own choices. One day, I saw Jack with Clara. They were at a cafe together. Jack was laughing and holding her hand. He looked at Clara the same way he used to look at me. My heart hurt so much. I turned around and walked away, tears running down my face. That night, I sat in our small apartment. The silence felt very heavy. Jack had packed his things and left. I felt alone, but I also knew I had a choice. I could stay sad forever, or I could find a way to be strong again. After Jack left, I felt empty. The apartment was very quiet. I missed the life we had, but I knew I had to move forward. The first thing I did was pack away all the things that reminded me of Jack. I put our photos, his gifts, and his notes in a box. It was very hard, but I knew I needed to make space for something new. Next, I decided to take care of myself. For a long time, I always thought about Jack's needs first. Now I wanted to ask, what does Lily want? Every morning, I made a cup of coffee and wrote in my journal. I wrote about my pain, my fears, and my hopes for the future. Writing helped my heart feel a little lighter. I also started going for walks in the park. At first, I stayed away from the places Jack and I used to go. But after some time, I realized I did not want to be afraid of memories. So I walked through those places, one step at a time. I wanted to make new memories for myself. One day, I saw a little girl in the park. She was trying to fly a kite, but it kept falling. Still, she did not give up. She picked up the kite again and again, laughing each time. Watching her made me think, if she can keep trying, so can I. I wanted to try something new. I joined a painting class. I had always liked art, but never made time for it. When I picked up the paintbrush, I felt my pain and anger go away. I painted a stormy sea with a small sun in the corner. It became my favorite painting because it showed that even in dark times, there is hope. I also called my old friends. During my marriage, I forgot about them. Now they listened to me, hugged me, and reminded me I was not alone. One day, I read a quote. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I understood that I needed to forgive Jack, not for him, but for me. So I wrote a letter to Jack. I wrote, I forgive you, not because what you did was okay, but because I want to feel peace. I did not send the letter, but writing it made me feel better. Over time, I learned to love myself again. I looked in the mirror and saw a strong woman looking back at me. I was not the same Lily who cried every night. I was someone new. I started setting goals. I wanted to travel, learn new things, and meet new people. I even started a blog to share my story. I hoped my words could help other people who felt sad like me. One night, as I was writing a blog post, I realized something important. Sometimes life breaks you, so you can become stronger. A year after Jack left, I felt like a new person. I was stronger. I was happier. I even traveled alone to Italy, a place I always wanted to see. I stood in front of the big old Colosseum and smiled. My life was not perfect, but I finally knew how to be happy on my own. I learned many lessons from my story. I want to share them with you, my friends at Chasing English. You are stronger than you think. Life can be hard, but every time you get up again, you become stronger. Pain is a teacher. When you are hurt, you can learn and grow. Do not be afraid to feel sad, but always look for hope. Let go of what hurts you. Forgiving others is not for them. It is for you. When you forgive, your heart can feel light again. Love yourself first. You cannot help others if you do not take care of yourself. Be kind to your own heart. Your story is not over. Every ending is a new beginning. You can always start again and make your life better. My story was full of sadness, but it also showed me hope. I lost myself, but I found my true self again. I learned to dance in the rain, not just wait for the storm to pass. Thank you, everyone, for listening to my story here on Chasing English. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you with your English practice. Remember, every day, read a little, listen a little, and try to speak English, even if you make mistakes. Use Chasing English to read, listen, shadow, and practice reflexes. Never give up. Every small step is important. If you like this story, please subscribe to Chasing English for more easy English stories, lessons, and tips. Let's keep learning and growing together. See you in the next story. And don't forget, your comeback is always stronger than your setback.